The virtual stock trading system I've been using for 5+ years to pocket regular $1,000 weekly returns and pick highly profitable stocks in the golden age markets. And this is something that only takes me about 20 minutes a day. Now I'm going to get into this. The virtual stock trading system works for thousands of investors and traders because it focuses on one thing: golden age markets. Now, some of you guys that have profits or that make money, you might say, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know what a golden age markets is. I haven't heard of it." Well, it's simply where there's a lot of value, a lot of profits, and you might not even know that the markets that you've made the most money in have been golden age markets. You just haven't maybe realized that's what they are. Now, if the term golden age markets is new to you, that's okay, because I'm going to explain everything. So, the golden age market is a vehicle where your speed to profits is faster and your return on investment is higher than in non-easy profit markets, golden age markets. This means if you invest in a golden age market, you make more money more often for less time and less money invested for your portfolio growth. So in other words, the stocks that are going to grow above average returns, that are going to bring those returns, are in the golden age markets. Golden age markets are enjoyed by the top 1%. They're enjoyed by the top 5%. How many of you guys know, have you seen the stuff about the politicians investing in markets or in different stocks that nobody really knows about, and those politicians or whoever might make money? Right? That's maybe the darker side of it, where there is some little bit of corruption or something like that. That's like the darker side of the top 1%. But how many of you guys also hear, the the friend, or maybe yourself, or that analyst, maybe it was us, when we picked out some of the quantum companies way early, back when they were like QBTS started covering $1 a share, or Big Bear, we started covering $1 a share, it went to 10, or some of the stocks that we cover early. Maybe you have a friend, but that they picked them out, and you said, wow, that's a market that was really emerging. And those are the types of investments that put you in the top 5%, that puts you above average returns, that puts you in the position to really build on that momentum. And those are the markets that most people miss. That's why they're golden age markets. The people that are looking for the positive returns, that aren't focusing on some of the negative energy of pump and dumps, or the negative energy of fear of missing out on other things. They're actually focusing on the smaller markets. And we're going to jump in. And also, for staying to the end, I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to download my golden age market, my AI driven market ranking guide, so you'll always know the best AI stocks to invest in. Okay, some of you guys have been tuning into the YouTube, but I just wanted to very quickly tell you, I grew up here in the foothills just outside Tahoe, in the bases here in Nevada. So I was born in Albuquerque. I moved to Boulder when I was young, just about 20, and I moved out to there with my wife, and or I guess we got married a little bit later, right there around 21. But I worked in Boulder. I struggled a lot personally. I had debt, but there was things and systems I did to get out of debt. There was things and systems I did to learn how to invest and how to create value in the marketplace as well. And then I worked for a financial institution over in Boulder for a few years, as a financial consultant. And then after doing that, I worked in a real estate company. There was a software real estate company. And then by that time, in about 2020, end of 2022, I was able to quit my job because I had figured out how to grow our investments and how to create value in the marketplace. And so that is where kind of the story. Been married to Tammy, my beautiful wife. You guys might see videos, her in videos and things like that. We do traveling together. You guys might see some of that. But also, she has her own channel. She's got about 12,000 subscribers on YouTube, as she's a singer, but she's also really, really, really keen on mindset and putting our mindset in the right place to expect positive results, to things like that that have gotten me through some of the roughest times as an entrepreneur and investor. I mean, it wasn't always sunshines and rainbows, but she's been there. And we love to travel, and we both like new cultures and try new foods. So we've been to Argentina, where she's from. We've been to Colombia, all that. Anyway, that's the personal side. So also let me clarify what I'm going to teach you guys here today is the profits, mostly the golden age, I'm finding to be related to AI and tech. And whether you have a big portfolio or not doesn't matter. In stocks that you don't need to stress about, because we're going to have some plans together, so you're not going to have to guess, and by capitalizing on the profitable boom of AI. So here's kind of the process. You're going to find profitable stocks, AI stocks, to add to the watch list that you have. Identify when the stocks have become undervalued, virtually on the go, and then enter on the low, most likely, to sell on the high for a premium payday each and every month. So here's an example of what it might look like to just buy S&P 500. I just got off the phone yesterday with it. I think his name is Elias. We're doing some consulting, and he's telling me how he put for 3 or 5 years money into his 401k, and it had mutual funds, and it had some fees and things like that. And he checked his 401k after putting money into it for 3 years, and it had grown his like $11,000. It had grown to like $12,000. It was $1,000 that he grew, and he thought, $1,000 over 3 years? Are you serious? I mean, what does that even break down to? That's like, gosh, that's like $20 a month. I don't know. So anyway, we're going through it, and it's the S&P 500. A lot of the companies are dragging down the gains that aren't the explosive growth companies, that aren't maybe in the golden age, but they're actually the decaying companies, the older companies that are still there that aren't driving growth. And so that's kind of what we talked about earlier with the golden age, right? How you have, the dead plants with the flower blooming. And I'm saying, all right, guys, it's a beautiful thing that those companies had their runs, but now it's time to really only invest in the flower of the golden age, the flowering companies. Those are the companies we want to touch. When the flower comes up through the dead ground, those, we're not, picking up the dead ground and giving it to my wife Tammy. I'm not doing that. You might pick up dead ground and give it to somebody. I'm picking up the beautiful flower, right? That's where the joy and the happiness and everything comes from, and the abundance. And so, but ultimately it comes from those companies before. So not bashing on the old companies, but I'm just saying, invest in the flower. A while back, I was working I was doing construction, and I was doing $20 a day in NVIDIA. It was before I moved to Boulder. It was 2019 and 2020. And as you could see, AI and tech, we're able to make an 1,800% return. So we turned, rather than 5,000 into 5,400, we turned $5,000 into $29,000 by investing in the golden age stocks. How many of you guys, does that make sense? Kind of how I explained that. So you got S&P versus, rather than dragging down from all the older companies, we picked the sole companies that are driving most of the S&P, and that's why we were able to see that return. Does that all make sense for everybody? Cool. Do you see how that could be helpful? Okay. So here's another outlook here. There's this trader that found the S&P, or they found an AI stock. They took up the analysis and they bought it early. Before they did that, the S&P did have a good 2 years, right? From 2020, end of 2023 or mid 2023 up until, January. We had a really nice run there. It was like 58% return, something like that. So your $5,000 initial would be $7,900. But Here's another, I got a screenshot from an investor, and they sent me this. It's, I think his name was, it was either, I think it was Eric, one of our stockmates, had this, you could compare to S&P gains versus your portfolio. And you could compare between the returns of SPY versus the returns of your portfolio. And so he compared, and it was 58% return SPY over that time period in which he had his account. But then his account was up 216% by investing in the prime segments. And it really happened just in about the last year or 2 years of it. It's when it started to change. No fancy indicators. There's no big news catalyst, no complicated analysis strategy for this, right? Just finding, in this case, the AI stock with an undervalued status and a proven strategy there to generate the return. So some people say there's capital gains. I have to pay taxes on these. I usually say if you're not making, $5,000-$10,000 a month or so in the capital gains, or you're really crushing it, I wouldn't worry about it too much. And just, simply, if you start to get in that point, sell some of your loss stocks at the end of the year so you can write them off, so you can offset some of your gains. Now most people don't know how to bypass them, but that's something I will show you guys later. And over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to identify hundreds of undervalued stocks throughout the tech sector and dozens of great deals ready to buy. And also at the end of this, guys, I'm going to offer, you can always see the link down below, but there's the virtual stock trading system. And we have a memorial sale right now for that. And if you ever want to join us in our weekly Zooms, we already had our live session first this past week. So there's a special code that I haven't revealed on here that I'll reveal at the end that'll get you a huge offer discount that is for Memorial Weekend, and also because we already recorded the first session. So you get that because we already recorded the first session live. You missed that live session. You get instant access to the recording, but because you missed it and you didn't get that live opportunity of asking me questions stuff, I'm putting it down the price because of that. So just want to let you guys know that's at the end, and whether or not you are a part of it or you want to join, totally up to you. What I know is that the value that you get is going to be good regardless, right? So now some people say, all right, Will, so you showed these stocks that are in the markets, the prime segment. It's just normal value-based trading. Like you're buying stocks that are driving the market. What's so complicated? What's so different? And I would tell you what's so different? Nothing really. I'm glad you asked. This is, in a nutshell, just value-based investing and trading, which is why anyone can do it. It's pretty simple. And the key to what I'll be teaching you here today is doing it in the right market, those golden age markets. So what are the right markets? Some people are like, come on, tell me the right markets, Will. How many of you guys are like, Will, just tell me the right markets. Tell me which market to invest in. Come on. Isn't it really cool? Right? We're almost there. All right. Here's the deal. Not all the markets are created equal. So I want you guys to think about your situation, right? So, some markets, you maybe have been conditioned by people to invest in these large indexes, very slow moves, and they're dragged down with diminishing returns. And you're working, you're hustling, you're putting all this work, but every time you see your paycheck or every time you see your returns, you're like, it's not enough. I know it should be more. And it almost makes you think like, gosh, am I really not that valuable? And the reality is the value is already inside you. It's not that you're not valuable. You can make more. But some markets are indexed, they're slow. Other markets, the profits are higher. There's a lot of new technologies that most people don't know, and the market cap saturation is far less. And I see some people saying, yeah, hey, I got some of these stocks. I got some companies that I bought here, watching the YouTube channel. Thank you. Yeah, I love that. Awesome. Glad you're able to get started. So if you're trying to make money as an investor or an entrepreneur, because I know a lot of you guys, how many of you guys also like you're working, but you also got something on the side? You're also like, you're working another job or you got this other side hustle. I'm curious because let me know if you got another business outside of the markets. If you're investing in one of these non-easy profit markets, the golden age markets that we're talking about, you're 100% going to be working harder than you have to. And you probably are not getting the results that you want. Can you feel it? Can you feel that? Maybe some of you guys feel like you're working harder than you have to. And not getting the results. Can you guys feel that? Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly how I learned this year is most people tend to think that the guy that's pouring the money into index funds might be better off because and they're growing faster, bigger than the guy buying AI or tech or the some of the companies we're going to go into. But the reality is, right, is like Warren Buffett says to buy index funds. Does he buy index funds? No, he buys individual companies. So why does he tell you one thing and then does another thing? Well, I like to think his intention is most people don't have any focus of research maybe, and he's thinking people that don't know anything just buy index funds. Yet his astronomically better returns than most people is because he buys individual stocks. That's the difference for him. So that's not what I found. Buying index funds is not what I found. What I found and what mattered the most was not the person, their diversified portfolio, how much money they have like saved up, because you always know you could have money, but you could be losing it or it's not reacting the way that you want it. And number one thing that leads to success was the market that they focused on. Do you see how the market could be so powerful? It's like so different, right? This could be great news for you. Many investors burn out not because they lack the discipline, but because they waste time in markets with no edge. And if you've been struggling or you're wondering how to get quick cash, and be wary, be cautious of the so-called get rich quick schemes, right? You got to get it, you got to work steadily towards it so that when you get it, you'll keep it. But there is a difference between the slow, drawn out, what 95% of people do, and the difference between the 5%. Being here today is going to show you why the things might not be working and exactly what you could do about it. The success, it's right there within reach. You just have to make the small adjustments that most people, they never tell you about. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from this time here with our coffee, that's some good coffee. Different coffee than normal, right? I got this coffee that has, normally I do like a straight up creamer, but today we're doing some oat milk. Not trying to trigger any allergies because there is still pollen outside, and we got some maple syrup in there. Personally, I like the maple syrup. It's a nice take. I know the whole ingredient stuff is good, so that's why I do it. But there's one thing I want you to take away from the class. It's going to be not the strategies that you learn or the effort. It's not the strategies, not the effort you're putting in that keeps you from making extra money. Whatever your goals may be, maybe you're happy, you don't want to quit your job, you just want extra income. Maybe you want to quit your job and you're almost there and you almost are to financial freedom, you got money saved up. Or maybe it's adding, you already got growing portfolio and you could say, oh man, if I could get an extra $1,000 or $5,000 or more a month, that would change everything for me. So it's not you, it's your market. 100% is your market that you're investing in. The golden age is going to come down to markets. So if you guys are taking notes, which I know some of you are here, write this down. The market you choose to invest in will make you more money than your smartest strategy without it. In other words, the market you choose is more important than your skill. And this is one of the aha moments at this point. Okay. Let's all agree not all markets are created equal. Okay. Some markets will make you more money faster than others. And 3, you can continue settling for the average investments with little returns, or you can follow a proven system to get results. And if you get this, you understand what I'm saying here today, which I know you guys do. Bad results can disappear and you can start getting the results that you want. Do you guys get it? You get the difference in markets? Difference between some of the haves and the have-nots there. That's really what it comes down to when it comes to the market you choose to invest in. And I love this. So risk to reward says investing is like planting seeds. You don't always see the fruits overnight. It takes patience, consistency, time. But the seasons, give it a few seasons, and all the things you plant today could change your future entirely. I love that. That's a great thing. It prefaces perfect with what we're talking about from the start, the golden age. And there is this theory that I heard: the people that have the knowledge and know will be the 5%, or the people that live, and the people that don't have the knowledge will die. I just heard that recently and I thought, gosh, that's such a crazy way to think about it. But it was a more extreme way, but I thought that was cool. More importantly, will you do something with this information, getting the results you want? How many of you guys maybe got the information? You know you got to invest in quality companies. You know you got to go through the financial. You know you got to look at the markets and do the full analysis, some of the step-by-steps that we cover, and then something that gets in the way. You got emotions, and you buy a stock that you know deep down you're probably like, there's not a lot of things lining up here. But if the stock goes back up, then that's going to be I'm going to make a ton of money. And then maybe because those things didn't line up, you don't make that money and you get kind of upset, maybe bag holdings, things like that. That's the difference between taking this information and just being like, okay, and then still looking for the next hot stock and the FOMO, the fear of missing out stock, or the stock that doesn't actually have intrinsic value, but you're buying it because everyone else is talking about it, or the stock that you've seen it go to a high price before and now it's at a low price and you think it's a low price, it could go back up, but really just because it's a low price doesn't mean it's a good deal. Like those types of investments, that's the difference between continuing on that road of just slowly draining your account from the different pendulums that swing in the market that you need to stay far away from, and coming towards doing something about the information of knowing that we're in a golden age and the markets you choose right now are the difference between you continuing on that other path and getting the results that you want. So more importantly, will you do something with this info? Once I realized this and I really changed that right there, that direction, I learned how to capitalize on it and things changed. My old results disappeared. Making money got a whole lot easier, and the stock trading for me has never been the same. My earnings have skyrocketed. The last year in 2024, we were over 100. We ended the year 109% returns. This year we're at 30% so far, and that's just in stocks. Like the crypto stuff it's high, it's up there, but that's another thing that I'm actually excited to get into as well. But we're going to talk about that. But I don't say that's a brag. I say that because when I changed how I looked at stocks, when everything changed for me. So I want to say this to you guys. If you're looking at this, you're not alone. If you felt that way, you've gotten sucked in stocks, you're not alone, number one. Number two, it's not your fault. Number three, there's a simple solution, which is what you're learning here today. Now, this formatting got a little weird, but we had a client, Thomas, he was dead wrong about how stocks were. He had a similar perspective about chasing. And the revelation he had ended up producing $8,000 in 2 short days because he made the change because he focused on the good stocks, the good investments. And then Chris also says he entered a position in one of our golden age markets, AI market, last week, and he's gained 16%. Now he says, time to find our next pick. Love your system. Hey, that's awesome. Chris is pretty active in StockMate as well. So the market you choose to invest in will make you more money than your skill. And focusing your effort in the right market will produce better, more consistent, and faster results than going bigger and spending more. So some people say, well, I'm doubling down. I'm putting all this into this small stock because it could go up so much. I'm putting this money in, and I'm betting big on this one. That's actually not the answer. The answer is being in the right markets, and that's going to produce better, more consistent, faster results. So this means you can make more money by spending less on the assets, but focusing first on the specific markets and then on specific sectors in those markets. Does that make sense? Awesome. And guys, today is Saturday here, and I'm actually gonna be in a few minutes. We're having our coffee here. Still got about half a cup left here, and we're gonna be. But after this, I am this afternoon. It's been a while, but I'm actually gonna be going golfing with my dad. I'm excited. Who I'm also gonna share with you guys an update on his spaghetti position. He's up big there. But I wanted to I'm gonna shoot him a text here and let him know that I'm gonna be done here definitely by 9:30 for sure. Cool. All right. So that's Pacific time. So we're here Saturday, May 24th. It's about 9 a.m. So what I'm looking for from you guys is that if the idea of the golden age markets, and you see the difference between focusing on some of the older markets, the pumps, the fears of missing out, and looking at some of these new golden age markets, the idea of making more money faster and by investing less money in stocks sounds good to you. Commit to it. That's what I'm going to ask you to do. Commit to it. Making the decision right now that you're committing to doing things differently than you've done in the past because you're committed to getting the results that you want. So imagine picking an easy profit market, identifying the most profitable path in the right sector, and then putting all your efforts on making money with those high growth stocks in AI or the golden age markets we covered. Stocks that are filled with untapped opportunity, untapped profit, and where the returns are going to come as institutions will in the future be actively buying. And that's a chart. If you see that chart, so it goes into, we see robotics, we got quantum, machine learning, autonomous sensor technology. Some of these markets, they start late. They're older companies maybe, but they've transitioned into some of the golden age technology, and now they're doing hundreds of millions or billions of dollars a year. So it's not so much that it has to be necessarily a new company either. That's the other misconception. So some people say, "Oh, I have to be in the new companies." No, it's not always that it's a new company. As we mentioned there, secrets to the quick, regular paydays in the markets are the markets where you can make the most money must be chocked full of businesses in the AI and technology sectors. And the markets where you can make the most money must be chocked full of institutional attracting value. Notice how I don't say institutional value. Institutional attracting value means that this technique here you'll learn is called value unwrapping. It can be done on your laptop or phone, and you get to choose. It's pretty simple, but essentially you're finding companies before institutions catch on. Now, let me explain that again. The formatting's okay. I don't know. I'm not sure what's up with the format. I did move it here into a Google slide here. Um, but hey, we're having coffee here. We're chilling. You guys can see. But essentially, with these huge arrows, they're massive arrows. Um, I love to put this. This is basically how I invest. So this is one of the systems we use. Little to no pay and spend money in weights is here, where people spend money in index funds. However, 30% of that market drives most of the index funds. And then there's a small segment here, which is what we call the honey hole, where there's lots of profits in growing AI stocks. And this is the area we choose to invest in. The AI and tech markets, the quantum markets, the space markets, they already have lots of competition. People already know those are the markets to invest in. It's pretty straightforward. Like, those are the markets. But there's FOMO, there's pumping, there's that fear of missing out, right? Where people, it causes unprofitability because a lot of those companies aren't as good as they look. And so, but there's this 10% of them that we can identify, and sometimes even are in the S&P, that are driving the gains, that we can identify early. And that's the honey hole right there. Does that make sense? I know there's like two circles. It's like you got the overlapping. And does that all check out for you guys? Do you kind of see that prime segment? Cool. So there's been some big changes in the financial industry over the past 2 years. And there's a lot more changes that are coming, especially with the advent of cryptocurrency and things like that, where companies that are global aren't going to go through the SEC to have their token. But there is companies that are in this golden age, which is why what I'm teaching here is so important. Imagine having a strategy to select the best stocks that are chock full of profit before deep pocketed buyers and traders. And imagine having a step-by-step blueprint to follow so you can buy and sell those stocks to the richest market makers from the comfort of your phone, while on vacation with your family, while traveling the world, or living life on your terms. Before we continue, I want to make something clear for you guys up front here. This system, it's not about making the most profitable trade, although a lot of them are very profitable when you're in the right markets. But if you're only 100% interested only on the most profitable trade, the rest of the trading, it might not be for you. But I don't think that's you guys. I don't think you're saying I'm one and done. I'm big hit home run. I'm high risk to reward, and I'm there. But I do think that you're looking for the above average returns. So you guys, does that sound right? How many of you guys are saying, I don't need that one hit wonder, but I definitely am looking for those above average returns? Because what I'm going to teach you here is, in the next few minutes, is all about finding and making those consistent trades easier. Trades you can win and profit day after day, week after week, and month after month. Even if you've tried before and you failed, I'll show you exactly why my system's different, why none of Wall Street teaches the same technique, and maybe it's why I was looking at our audience and why we have such a large audience from New York. I don't know. Maybe that's why, because it is different than Wall Street. I'm trying to figure that out. The key to success is consistency that allows you to create a portfolio profit machine so the regular paydays do become expected. How many of you guys have had gains in the market and you've said, this is great. This is great. I'm making money. And then you're like, but gosh, I don't know what it's going to be like next month. And how many of you guys would say that what you'd like to see is you make your gains and you say, I'm going to feel good that these are the types of gains that I'm going to see over the next months, years, and it's going to be consistent. How many of you guys want to see that type of, um, or have that feeling when you're up? Not like an up, like you're up and you're in anxiety. It's the same thing is true as like when I started this YouTube channel back in 2019, I started getting a lot of like views and things because I was covering company. It was when Robinhood was starting to get traction. And I got so nervous. I kind of like stopped my YouTube channel. It's 2019. And then I told you guys the history. Like I moved out. I was looking at the markets every single day. I was in debt with my wife, and we moved out to another we moved to Boulder. But then I was a financial consultant. I started to learn and still traded every morning, and I got into the markets. 5 years later, in 2024, we start the YouTube channel again on covering the markets. But this time, when I make the videos, I don't get nervous, and I feel good because why? Because we worked steadily towards it, and I don't get nervous when I'm up. In fact, when I get profits, I keep them. And so that's something what I'm talking about here is the kind of consistency that allows you to, whether it's need to fix that, quit the job or not quit the job, just get extra income and get your significant other fully on board so you can go full time on the trading money for more money industry. So this is the kind of consistency that allows you to keep your financial partners happy if you have them. So some of you guys, you might invest for others if you're especially maybe tuning in from New York, Wall Street, get that. Because you can make more money before the media hype comes. And that's a common theme you guys see. What is one of the indicators? I'm like, I like we're investing in this company over here because media hype hasn't hit. Now, if you look now on all the quantum companies or things that we covered, the media hype is kind of there. BBAI, it's kind of hit now. I don't know that it's hit CTM but you understand what I mean here. That makes sense, right? All right, you guys here with me? Are you guys tracking right now? So consistency plus speed. So that consistency, but also the speed equals success. However, consistency slow equals success. But we focus on speed because now that we're in the golden age of these markets, some of these companies, like we are in a true golden age right now. I really believe we're living in a golden age of the different developments in AI, the different developments in tech that we're seeing. I believe speed is a factor. So the AI sector isn't just any market, right? It's where innovation meets the profitability. And there's specific stocks primed for exponential growth that are often overlooked until it's too late. And this is the moment that I had an aha moment here. And let me have a sip of coffee here. You only need to capitalize on the prime segment of an easy profit market, this golden age market, and trade just one stock a month to make a killing with the system. So most people think that they need to build a fund that competes with the biggest and the best institutional traders to make money. Or most people think that you need to have like 17 different ways to trade stocks or 17 different strategies to invest. You might need to buy an index fund, have insider info. Some people take out loans ready to fund all of their investments, that's a little crazy there. But I understand it. I actually understand a little more with crypto. But anyway, and that you need to have a 10K or 100K or $1 million or more in cash in your account each month to really even cash in on some of these opportunities. But that's not true. To be frank with you, I think that's actually one of the mindsets that keeps people that are like trying to be successful, for them to see the triple digit annual growth rates. They're focusing on that they have to have so much money to do it. You don't have to have so much money to do it. It's like thinking that you're gonna have success And making money is like like when you make money, you're successful. It's like thinking that um making money, like if I make money, I'm successful. But making money does not make you successful. Money is the result of success, and success is the progressive realization of a goal. It's the progress. So people think, "Oh, I'm not successful because I don't have money," but they just made they consistently worked through the year and they have a 50% return investing in the markets. And they made $10,000 and like, "Oh, I only made $10,000 this year." Look at that rate in the way things are going. When you get it and when you have the large amounts, you're going to keep it. So what I want you guys to realize is that with the right markets every month, there's hidden growth stocks that are extremely set for the growth ahead of the media coverage. And you only need one stock that meets that criteria to scale the quick analysis into, I say, $1,000 payday, $10,000 payday. And that's for people, that are looking for those $1,000 to $10,000 opportunities. And it's also relative to where you're starting. And it's not important. What's important is the progress. So by focusing on a single high growth AI stock or company in tech or space or quantum that fits the system's proven criteria, you eliminate the distractions and you amplify your returns. So my system, it teaches you to get laser focused in on the right market, in the right analysis in the market, and then buying in the right way to profit. And when you're focused in on the right market, the right assets, and on the right growth trajectory, you don't need to be a trader pro. You don't need to master a complicated strategy. And you don't need to frustrate yourself on the analysis side trying to put your money to work only to come up short. It's kind of like, the people that say, I have to do all these things before I start my day. It's my morning routine. But what does a morning routine purpose serve? It's to make you more productive or what have you, right? Or to make you more focused throughout your day. But sometimes you wake up focused. And sometimes doing all that stuff in the morning routine, actually makes you less focused throughout the day. They say that if you're focused on something and someone distracts you, then you actually break the train of thought and it would take you 20 minutes to get back to being focused. So sometimes people wake up, like I've woken up, I've been focused on what I'm doing, and it is actually so much easier and relaxing to sit down with a cup of coffee and get right to work right away. So morning routines, they help in certain instances, but if you're already focused, why change it? So in this instance, if you're already in the right market, the right assets, and the right growth trajectory, you don't need to have all this complicated strategy that people think they need to do first before they invest. You don't need to come up with all this crazy analysis. So I call this the trifecta. It's the right market, the right asset, and the right profit plan. The right market, the right asset, and the right market or right profit plan. When you use a trifecta and you use it to your advantage, it allows you to screw up most of what the gurus tell you, right? You don't need to learn that you need to learn and master. You might see that on YouTube. People telling you that you have to do stuff. Oh, I only buy if the price action, blah, blah, blah. How about be the type of person that would make consistent gains and act the way they would with managing your profits and your risk? And you don't have to worry about all that other stuff, right? Does that make sense? Does this make sense, guys? Do you guys hear that? Like, is that clicking? Are you guys tracking right now? Can you still get profitable stocks? So doing that can get you profitable stocks that put thousands each month in your hip pocket national bank. It's my favorite bank. It's your hip pocket national bank. So most people, they buy stocks, and again, the format's a little strange there. There we go. That's okay. We're just having coffee here. It's just a coffee break here. the market might look like this. You struggle here, and you have some stocks. You pick all these different stocks, and you pick them all. You say, I'm going to diversify. I'm going to diversify all these stocks. I got all these different stocks, and all of them are kind of going down. You're like, gosh, what's going on here? But every once in a while, and that might be, that 8% return. So $10,000 turns into $800 if you're lucky. And then every once in a while you might struggle, but then you have a good trade. And really one of these here should be green. There we go. Well, it didn't turn green. It's a formatting issue. I don't know what's going on there. But every once in a while you'll struggle and you'll have a good trade. And maybe that means that rather than making 8%, you come up and you make a 30 to 40% gain. But the point is that you might be buying in a state of hope. So AI right now, rather than buying in a state of hope, realize this is the single greatest opportunity to capitalize on and trade in our lifetime. But here's a layer of that value unwrapping that you need to remove for the stock selection and how you choose these stocks to truly succeed. And this is something the biggest players in the stock market rarely share with you. And it's the same wrapper that small companies use with tools like ChatGPT and the Fortune 500 companies that they kind of exploit to grow their empire. So, for example, Tesla, and exploit's not the right word, but Tesla runs on AMD or runs on NVIDIA. They started with NVIDIA, now they run more on AMD. NVIDIA and AMD, they get their chips and a lot of the sourcing over from Taiwan Semiconductor. Taiwan Semiconductor has got to get the materials, whether it's the copper or the gold or what have you. So there's the gold investments or the copper. Microsoft leverages tools like ChatGPT, Tesla powered by NVIDIA reliant on TSMC, and I do think Microsoft is starting to heavily lean away from its own product and more to ChatGPT. I think that's a huge thing that's happening. And even with TSMC, they're tied to precious metals. Now, I'm not saying like go buy the precious metals, but what I am saying is tech is something that you trade and that you can find those smaller companies that are being wrapped by other companies that are the real value behind that company. So I'll give you an example. How many of you guys saw the first few slides when we showed the returns that I was able to secure in some of the markets like tech and NVIDIA was one of our investments. NVIDIA, I noticed and started investing in NVIDIA around 2019, 2020, because we noticed that they were powering Apple and they were powering Tesla, and that they were the GPU data centers that were going to be the infrastructure for AI. You guys tracking? Does that make sense? So you see the infrastructure, you see what's going to be powering the future, and I invested in those companies, and what happened was as that trajectory did play out, data centers and NVIDIA and everything else soared, and now they're the number one company in the world. And I don't say that to brag or anything, but does that make sense? Like what we look for, what we're kind of unwrapping? Now, imagine if you had that access, knowing which sectors are about to explode before the news hits, grabbing profits others miss because they're focused on the wrong markets. Positioning yourself like the pros, but with none of the complexity. So this isn't how to be in the right markets necessarily. This is about trading in the prime segments of that markets and what actually works. So rather than relying on those 500 stocks, the 8% returns that maybe beat inflation, we're talking about 10% of the market that are those 100 stocks or less that have 150% returns that carry the market. Does that make sense? So the prime segment. Now, this is where my system comes in, and I'm excited to share with you guys how we approach things when it comes to filling the gap of opportunity. So this formatting might be off, as I mentioned. I imported it here to make it easy for our coffee break, or our coffee investor convo, which you guys are dropping some awesome comments. I've been reading them here. I see yes, nice. I see someone, I'm working in AI, operating systems, seeing potential. Steven's on it. I love it. I love to hear it. Now, my system here, as you guys know, we talked about it, but it fills this gap of not on mediocre stocks, but a 3-step system here. Explosive AI tech. So we do Big Bear, we do Palantir. Going to be looking at the different quantum companies. These are the near-term cash returns that are the $500 investments that turn into $5,000. And I'm actually not exaggerating. That's literally the returns that we've seen investing in some of these AI companies. Then we have cyclical cash flow, which has been some of the crypto companies that I'm really excited to look at as well. I mean, personally, I see that the SEC, $250,000 that you got to put into making a company is a lot of money, and most people don't want to pay that much money. So what's happening? Well, these smaller people, the smaller companies, are saying, well, why don't we just have our own token? And they're creating their own token, and they're creating their own stock without having to go through all of the money processing of SEC, the big fees and everything else. And while it's, more risk potentially for investors, it's also more of a free market for entrepreneurs. So I find that to be almost a way of investing private equity in a way. I find it to be very interesting, and that's why we have cyclical. It's cyclical because that's the crypto market. It is quite cyclical, but it's averaging huge returns right now, year over year, that are doing well for us. So those are the $1,000 to $10,000 investments. And then my system is focused on the possibility of increasing the value of your portfolio with the long-term AI growth. Those are the ChatGPTs, the OpenAI, the Anthropic indirect investments, the Starlink investments, the SpaceX related investments, the Amazons, the Googles, the Microsofts. Now the goal here, and relative to the capital and money that you have, and we say this if you're starting with these exact numbers of these $500 to thousands to $2,000 invested, the goal is to get to a $15,000 per month return with assets, 3 assets per month. And that's 3 assets per market. And the governments, let me take another sip of this coffee here. The government's clear. They're very clear. I can't make income claims, and I can't make promises or guarantees of success or making money for someone that uses this system. I'm only telling you what's possible if you learn, put in the work, and stick with it. The truth is, I don't know you fully. Like, we're pretty good friends. I like to think we have our coffees. We hang out, and we got some stockmates in here as well. But I don't know how hard you're going to work or if you'll follow the system. So I don't know if you'll make any money or not. And in fact, with any investments, you could lose money. But here's what I do know. The AI industry and the markets in this golden age is never easy, but the most simple way that I know to make extra money and create sizable sums is to trade assets in these easy profit markets during the golden age. It's what I've been doing for years, and it's what I've been teaching for years, and it's proven to work when people put in the work. And when they work through the roadblocks that always seem to show up. So here's a transition in our coffee training. I should have called it coffee training. How many of you guys think that would have been good? But write this down. Are you guys tracking as we get into this here, the transition? Write this down. Simple systems scale. Simple systems scale. So this system here is broken down into a 10-step repeatable process. It's based on the trifecta of the right market, right assets, the right growth, and finding assets that become winners. And I got to send a message here. We're almost done here, but I want to send a message over to my dad here because we're meeting for some golf here, and I'm going to be golfing in a little bit. So I just want to make sure that it's making sense here, that I can make sure that we're able to still get our tea time there. Okay. All right. So let's dive in here. And I'm really excited to share some of the results we got for my dad, especially with Rigetti stock. I have this video on my phone where he's like, I'm up $1,000. It's a really good video. Anyway, step number 1, the AI driven market. So this AI driven market is this asset selection process, choosing the right companies in AI driven markets. It could be quantum market. It could be energy market. It could be what markets are we looking at for AI? It could be a medical market. Is it biotech? And how many of you guys see that? How many of you guys are excited about those markets? So if you comment down below, do you guys see them? Is it a quantum market? Is it data centers? Is it space tech? Here's how we rank our assets with these 7 selector points. And again, the formatting is a little strange there, which calls for another sip of coffee. Okay, select the top 5 possible assets. Rank each asset based on these 7 selector points. Selector number 1 is growth potential. Selector number 2 is the momentum. But selector number 3 is where we look at the variable of institutional backing. It's a variable because, again, we want to invest before institutions. And then selector number 3, AI relevance and innovation. Now, or selector number 4. Now, the question here is, this is a question for all you guys. If you could quickly and easily find the fastest to profit AI assets in the industry, and I want you to picture your goal. What is it? Is it 500? Is it 1,000? Is it $10,000 a month? Or what is it that you're looking for? If you had a simple system in place to profit and get that number X times profit collected every month, would you? That's the question. I'm going to assume everybody's saying yes. Yes. Absolutely. If you could quickly and easily find its fastest to profit assets, would you? And collect X times every month. So here's step number 2. AI driven markets. When you find the hottest offers, so these are the hottest different deals that are available in the market. This is the step where I create an AI profit path. And this AI profit path kind of looks like this. This is how you find AI assets that become growing stocks and cryptos. The keys here are to know, number 1, where smart buyers are buying. 2, who are those buyers? And then 3, what price to act on. So think about it. When you know those three things, right? The buyers who are buying, who those buyers are, and what price to act on. So again, if you know institutional buyers are coming in, think about it. And you know those things, finding the stocks that are ready to grow is simple. Not necessarily that they've already bought, but that they're starting to have that institutional value attracting characteristics. So here's the question. If I had a system that taught you exactly which AI stocks to buy before they explode, helped you act fast without stress or confusion, and let you do it again and again to grow your portfolio, would you? Now, step number 3, the AI-driven market, picking the undervalued assets. So using the AI profit path that we just created, you'll hone in and build AI asset lists of just the undervalued assets. So knowing where the price is, what buyers are buying, and those buyers, who they are and what prices that we should actually act on, building AI asset lists with that in mind of just undervalued assets. That's where you keep investing risks low. That's what gets you a higher than normal number of winners in AI that are projected to grow as assets. So again, it's not necessarily that it's one big winner. It's that the consistency that you're growing, again, how many of you guys have been in a place, like I remember I was in a place one time where I was traveling and I had made an investment and I was up and I was very excited, but I got really, really nervous. I didn't know what to do after I was up. How many of you guys have been in that position? You're like, I don't know what to do. Exactly. So, and my dad just brought some coffee. Dad, you want to show him the fit? Yeah, I like your fit. Come on over here. Check out my dad, guys. We're going golfing here. Let's go. Yeah, do we look like? I love it. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. Yeah. Definitely we'll be done here in just a few minutes and we'll go hit some balls. So this is what keeps your investing risks low. And that's what gets you higher than normal number of winners, whether it's AI, space tech, or what have you, that are projected to grow as assets. I just should have asked my dad. I forgot to ask him about his Rigetti stock. Would have been cool. Remember, you're only investing in 3 assets each month in each market. So just the prime segments of each market. That's it. Are you guys tracking? Nothing complicated or hard here. Then you're going to use my profit calculator to make accurate trades that investors are already eyeing and price your entry for maximum profit with minimal risk. This is awesome. So the question is, if you can make trades perfectly priced in for that explosive growth without doing the complex research, without endless chart analysis and getting mediocre returns, but with little to no risk, and you get that explosive growth, would you? That's the question. Of course you would. So these initial steps make up that trifecta. It's the foundation of the right markets, the right asset, and the right profit growth. So I always like to share this one with Vish, where he had this big shift in his investing style. He says he used to trade options and lost a lot of money, but when he joined the system, he learned things and his portfolio increased. He started growing. He used 3% in the day, 10% over the last month. So he started getting these 10% monthly returns. And David also says, I'm loving everything about the system. I made about 13% annually in index funds, but realized the AI tech market is new and I finally feel like I'm ahead of the game. Let's go, David. So since you've learned the keys to the trifecta and 3 of the 10 steps in my AI stock trading system, I want to show you how I'm personally running my portfolio to maximize profits and minimize risk. So to teach you the rest of my system, what I've decided to do is take a little different approach because I think it will help you and will make it easier for me to teach. And the reason I think this will work is because tying the entire system together is all about creating consistent and repeatable results. And eventually getting AI to do 93% of the work for you. You find opportunities, let the AI powered tools do most of the heavy lifting. That's how I picture the future like that. Analyzing the market, spotting undervalued assets, and streamlining decisions to stay ahead of the market. How many of you guys say, wow, that's like actually what I want? Like that sounds great. I can like skip all of that part where I have to like go through the deep growth. I love that. So Coxer says, hurry up, Will. Just name a few of the stocks for us to research. Man, I already named the stocks, man. We went through that. We went through that in our 3-step analysis. Yeah, we dropped that down. You could take a screenshot. Man. All right. So the question is, if you could get an AI, you only pay when it makes you money, and it does 93% of the work for you, would you? So many of you guys sent me messages over the last few days because that virtual stock trading system mastermind that I shared with everyone, we released that mastermind, and you asked if I would make the virtual stock trading system available, since I've only taught it to a small select group of investors who got exclusive access. The system has been off the market for a while, and only a handful of people have ever had the opportunity to learn and apply these strategies who you heard on the recorded mastermind if you're there. Now that makes the information I'm about to share with you even more valuable because very, very few people even know this information, and no one can normally get it right now. I mean, if you follow our YouTube, you probably get some of the insights, right? But for the most part. So after receiving some outpouring requests for access to the system over the last few days, what I've decided to do is reopen a small handful of VIP spots for a few of you here in this coffee class here with this training. The truth is, and I need another sip of coffee actually, that reminds me. I don't need it, just tastes good. The truth is, since I wasn't planning to reopen this system, and because I'm only making a small number of spots available, I'm not offering it at the regular price because it's for me, but it's actually a better deal. It almost sounds like I'm about to say it's like really, really expensive. And in the ROI, in the initial 1 year of consulting, what I've offered, it is expensive, right? It's $4,800 for an entire year of the complete virtual stock trading system with me. And honestly, it's a steal at that price when you consider some of the ROI the traders have achieved with this system. But we already recorded our first session here on Thursday. So we already recorded the first session. And by getting in now, you're going to have a major advantage because you get instant access to that first session. Now, since you already missed, since you already missed one of the live sessions this past week, if you're not already in the virtual stock trading system, the value of the program is still there. But I'm going to discount it even more because it's Memorial Weekend, number one. And number two, technically, you only get, and this is the second reason, you'll only get 5 of the modules actually live because we already had one that was recorded. So you get the recording, but you miss the live. And I find that to be a value, something that you miss in value because the live sessions make all the difference. So here's the virtual stock trading system. We're going to run it through real quick here. As we mentioned at the beginning, you guys can decide whether or not you want to be a part of it or not. And I think you're going to find that it's a no-brainer for everything we just covered and how much this can make a difference for you. So virtual stock trading system module 1 is the hottest emerging markets. It's already recorded. In fact, we already covered it, but it's complete. It's a complete virtual stock trading system overview. We start with the end in mind. Create an easy to follow step-by-step plan and stop wasting time on pump and dumps that you don't need. This gets results simple and fast. Get your life back by working less and making more money on the go, and learn how to scale your portfolio. And that value is about a $497 value. That's real world. Now you'll notice that this is going to be a lot different. You hold the number in your mind, you maybe, oh man, this, I don't know. Well, I'm going to show you why this is going to make sense for you. The virtual stock trading system, and maybe it doesn't make sense, but you could decide that. Virtual stock trading system module 2 is picking high growth markets step by step. We talk about it again, assets. Yet no gurus focus on this. You learn step by step how to identify undervalued AI assets for the fastest speed to profits. Learn how to compare rank stocks based on my proven criteria and create a complete stock profit plan from the top to the bottom. And in module 2, you get an AI stock selection checklist along with the portfolio balancing. Module 3 includes the market analysis and stock pricing, finding that honey hole that we talked about earlier. So whether you're focusing on an established AI giants or hidden small cap opportunities, this module helps you uncover hidden pockets of profit. So you'll learn how to create a profit path that gets you going faster. It's going to get you going faster. And the most exciting module in the virtual stock trading system is this one, and nobody teaches it. I believe it's the most exciting because the honey hole is where a lot of skipping the complexity comes in. You can skip that and let the system show you the fastest path to profit. It's so simple. So that's value about $997. Module 4 is a $997 value. Learn dynamic entry and exit pricing. So the profitable trades that you have depend on knowing when to enter and exit the market. How many of you guys, again, have been in that situation where you're up and you're getting nervous? You're like, what do I do? I'm up. Or you're down. You're like, what do I do? I'm down. Being able to handle those situations is the difference. Again, we focus on buying assets over holding cash. So if you're not buying assets, you're most likely not making money. You might be earning money from a wage, but profits are better than wages. So you got to be earning profits from your assets. Learning dynamic entry and exit pricing methods for consistent gains. I'm going to have to speed this up a little bit. As I mentioned, we have a tea time here. So I'm going to go through a little quicker. You're going to leverage AI so you can have more profitable trades. Module 5 is the full financial growth picture. It's that 7-point framework to find high growth balance, build high growth balance sheets, the complete account diversification system, and don't waste your time. I'll teach you my top 5 ways to build your net worth with account segmentation, which is one of the number one things that either helped my wife and I way back when get out of debt, or to help my wife and I manage it when we started making money. And so segmentation in your accounts is so important. So I'm going to show you how to do that and even use AI to do it all for you. This works in every situation, every time. So module 6 is the virtual stock trading system, building your explosive portfolio. Now, how to get AI to do 93% of the work for you by this time. There's going to be a special gift for you that I'm excited for you to have. My exact 4-step value unwrapping process for not just stocks, but also crypto. And learn how to manage each asset with precision and identify high value opportunities. Structure the portfolio for growth that lasts. So again, when you get it, you've been steadily working towards it, you keep it. And are you guys tracking here? Structure the portfolio for growth that lasts. When you get it, you keep it. That comes down to step-by-step stock analysis frameworks that you can copy and paste for some repeatable results. So those are all 6 modules. And again, 6 weeks of classes. The first module is already instantly available. So we already recorded session 1. Going into it, this next Thursday is the first class. And we do it once a week here on Zoom. And some people say, well, I want one-on-one. Well, you're going to see that that's something that for fast action takers will be included. But also remember, the most value you could get is being in the room with other investors. that are asking questions that you never even thought of. I mean, that's actually where the magic happens. So the virtual stock trading system, you get the complete system, all 6 modules with first module readily available. It's a value of $5,482 with everything we just went over. The classes begin next Thursday, and the VIP reopen. It's 75% off today, regularly $4,800 for a full year. The opening offer, when we launched it last week before the first class, was $1,297. But as I mentioned, because we have the Memorial Weekend sale here, and we also have the first class already recorded, so you kind of miss the first class that you get the live session. I want to create an offer for you guys that's irresistible and is like a no-brainer. So with the code secret350, let's see here. Does this work? For the code secret350, it's yours today when you use code secret350, just $947. So you can go to the link in the description down below. There's a link in this video. And it should be cash2assets.com/golden age profits. So you could go there, or you could go to cash2assets.com/trade now. But really, it's golden age profits. Kind of worked. But the link in the description of the video, and you could go to the link on the screen to enroll in the virtual stock trading system right now. So some of you guys saying, wow, that's all? I'm pumped. And I start to see people going there. But also, we got a no hassle money back guarantee. It probably goes without saying at this point, since I'm pretty sure you know me and my sincerity by now. But for those of you guys that are still on the fence, let me just reiterate. You get a 30-day money back guarantee. To try my system today, see for yourself what others have held back. Give me a fair shot to help you profit in this golden age. And you owe it to yourself, really. If you have missed opportunities before and you could see the power of the system, how many of you guys see the power of what we've revealed? You owe it to yourself to make this small investment. Follow the system and experience the results. So again, classes begin next Thursday. It is a 6-week module series, and you get access to every live session in those Zooms. So once a week, Zooms, Thursday, you get access. Now, some of you guys, you're looking at it, you're saying, that's awesome. Has this worked for people? And I'll say, yes, it has. It is. You can see David again. He says, this changes how I think about trading AI stocks. Finally feel like I got a system that works. Got my first profitable trade. That's what's up with David. And then you got some of our wins from Stockmates, people that have beat the market, that are up, that have grown their portfolios here. There's a $28,000 gain on the left. Then you got a $97,000 gain there. Gosh, that was crazy. Michael, that was crazy. Laura had a $3,000 portfolio and slowly building, just about 1% in that day, but slowly building. Andrew was up there, and there's an all-time riser, $102,000 portfolio, and they were up 187%. So classes begin next Thursday. Now, some of you guys see this, you're like, all right, Will, cool. All right, you see it. And some of you guys are already in it. But just to reiterate, this is the golden age that I believe we're living in right now. And we talked about it, the different companies, opportunities. We got fast action taker bonuses. I want everybody to get the most value possible out of this system. So for the next 20 fast action takers, we're going to introduce some bonuses here. So the first bonus, flip a switch that puts your portfolio on 100% autopilot. So you can just sit back and let trades land in your buy box. How good does that sound? This is the world debut of Mercatus. This is our new offer here. The normal stock finding system, you build a list, you dive into financials, you check the news, you do your analysis, and you've got to start over and over. And good morning there. Hopefully you guys are having a good one. And it says you build the list, you analyze the market, you check the chart, see the financials, read the news, compare the stock, make a trading plan, enter the trade, refresh, and repeat. You got to start that process all over again. Now, Mercatus, until now, analysis automation has been designed to focus almost exclusively on just buy and sell ratings from analysts. But profitable trades, they normally take technology and human skill. But imagine if you could automate the technology and eliminate the human skill. And we got the format weird because, again, coffee break. There we go. So that's bonus number one, Mercatus AI. You get the 1-year license free. You save your spots in the beta group of Mercatus AI. Before I jump in, you just know this value here. Here it is, Mercatus. Chart your financial future. I'm just going to show you. We focus on beyond historical data with this bonus. So as a bonus, you get 1-year access to AI-driven analysis and market visualization. So you can visualize which markets are emerging. These are where you find the 10x growth opportunities. This is the power of Wall Street democratized. We take millions of data points and dynamic AI selection. So whether it's Gemini from Google or OpenAI or Anthropic, or maybe it's Grok, this new system, Mercatus, processes real-time market data, millions of data points from news, economic indicators, and even real company-specific factors. So different factors impact different time frames. And so rather than having a typical hedge fund model that's maybe just lagging data with limited scope, this is real-time streams, multi-factor analysis with predictive modeling that is in your hands. And in the back testing, we've seen some tremendous results. So you get this, and I'm just going to show you how it works. That's how it works. So I can actually log in here because we're already getting, you can see this projection here for 6 month here. And here's the market analyzer. So there's a couple features that we have built in. Number one, let's say I want to check out the space market. I can click on the space market and see the different companies. I can go to the AI market and see which companies are in AI that are connected. Not only that, I can click into the company like Big Bear, see their current price, and then add a future chart to get an outlook for where the AI, in this case, it's OpenAI models, is projecting them to go. And it's not just a projection random. It's considering millions of data points and even gives you an analysis that explains the next day, for example. So this is the next day. They say that it could actually surge as high as 7%. Or no, that was actually on Friday. So next day, if you go next month, you can see what it's saying. It's saying it's going to get to $5 in the next month. And it says monthly analysis reveals strong potential in AI sector. Monthly chart shows bullish cup and handle pattern. Long-term institutional ownership increasing based on 13F filings. Analyst sentiment is improving. It's giving you that. And guess what? If I go to the next 6 months, I can get that analysis as well. And it's giving me why. What is it considering? And even cites articles at the bottom for those time frames. And that's the power of this system. So you get it as a bonus for free. Not only that, you get to jump on a one-on-one call with myself. So you get a one-on-one strategy session and coaching call with me. It says with my team, it's with me. Number 3, Stockmates 1-year membership. Daily live sessions are the backbone of where a lot of the gains happen. So if you're trying to grow as an investor, being in the room in our daily live sessions, it's a $549 value. You get it as a bonus for free, as a 1-year Stockmate membership. Each day at market open, Monday through Friday, we go live. You get Stockmate there as a bonus, as being a fast action taker here. So you go to cashtoassets.com/trade now, or you could go to the link in the description down below and unlock access to Mercatus, unlock access to this growth launch strategy of a one-on-one kickstart with myself, a one-on-one call, and get a daily live session access for the next year to our trading every morning, about 30 minutes to an hour at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, for free as a bonus. Now, 2 tickets to Stockmate Live. When we have our next event, which we have never had an in-person event, but I'm excited to have one either in Miami or California, there's going to be no outside speakers, just us one-on-one, me with you, 100% value. Only goal is value. $4,800 value for 2 tickets. You get it absolutely free. Be a full weekend as a bonus. So, this AI virtual stock trading system, you get the complete system. So you get the 6 weeks of classes. Second class begins next Thursday. VIP reopened 75% off today, regularly $4,800. And there it is. Yours today for just $947. The opening offer is $1,297. We got a memorial sale with Secret 350. Use code Secret 350 at checkout with the link in the description or the link there. You're going to go to the page. It's going to ask you for, or it's going to take you to the page. You're going to scroll down to the buy button. You're going to click it. You're going to go, it's a OLO colored button because this is the golden age. So we have an OLO colored button, this color. That's the name of this new color that was just discovered this past month, which I'm excited about. And and you're gonna get access when you enter your email, phone. We do PayPal, you could do even crypto, but we have Stripe there. And join us in our first session on Monday at market open. Sorry, Tuesday, because it's Memorial Weekend. And then on top of that, you get the Thursday class and all of the bonuses that come with the virtual stock trading system. So again, it's the link down below in the description. So guys, don't wait. You committed yourself to succeed. So right now is your shot. I've really enjoyed this coffee here. Whether or not you're a part of it, I hope you got tremendous value. You enjoyed, got a good time. And I also want you to know that if you committed yourself to doing things different, for things to change for you, you have to change. And don't wait. If you committed yourself to succeed here, right now is your shot. So maybe a year from now, you don't see any difference, right? Maybe a week from now, you don't see a difference. Maybe 2 years from now, you don't see a difference. But what if you wake up, a while back and you see some of this golden age play out with AI and quantum and the growth of tech right now, and you're saying, man, what would have happened if I actually took that shot? What if I would have gone all in with Will? Well, you don't have to wonder why. It's the link right there if you want to join us. And again, that special discount there, secret code 350. Again, last week we launched it, but we have a memorial sale. So the opening offer was $1,297, down from $4,800. So you get that secret code, secret 350. And this will only be available for a limited time here on YouTube. So I'd encourage you guys to go to that link in the description down below. And I would love to see you in our live session on Monday as that Stockmate's a bonus, and then in our classes on Thursday and everything else. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Hopefully you enjoy your coffee. You have a good rest of your day. Happy Memorial Weekend if you celebrate it. If you don't, have a great day regardless. Beautiful Saturday. And I hope that you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care, guys. Oh, one last thing before I actually hit end. There's one quote that's one of my favorite quotes here that I want you to know about the markets, the number one rule that Warren Buffett says is never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. And I want you to know that being a part of this here is you not losing money. This is you investing in yourself. And to invest in yourself, to be a part of the world where you know how to never lose money in the future and you know how to capitalize on some of these gains. That's the goal. That's what we're trying to get you on the right track for. And I look forward to being a part of your success. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you all. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. All right, take care, guys.